This is Inside Hart County Football with head coach Rance Gillespie and your host, Doc Ayers. Recorded in Studio 604B at the new Hart College and Career Academy. Here's your host, Doc Ayers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to This Week in Hart County Football with Coach Rance Gillespie. Show's brought to you each week by Pierce Bill Homes. Coach, long time coming, but last Friday night was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good to get a win under our belt, and really excited for our football team, excited for the kids, and excited for the community. You know, we get a lot of support. A lot of people come out and watch us every Friday night, and it's always a little bit more fun to be a part of something like that.
And I have to ask, I was still in the press box when the final horn went off. How was the ice bath?
Cold is good after a football game. That normally means good things. So I kind of welcome an ice bath at the end of a football game.
It was fun to see the celebration.
Yeah, the kids were excited, and they deserve to be. You know, we work hard. These kids work extremely hard, and you know, when you win a football game, you deserve the right to celebrate.
Yeah, as I told you before we went on there, the PBA and J line was awful fun.
Yeah, it was.
Coach, looking at the ball game Friday night, and we'll get to the highlights in just a minute, thought the offense finally started clicking. A lot of big plays, season high in total yards. You have to be pleased.
Yeah, there was a lot of things I was pleased with offensively. I thought, you know, the opening drive was a little chaotic. We had some miscommunications there on like the first three plays, and but after that, and we still were able to put together a 17-play drive and drive the length of the field and tie the ball game up. But I thought after that we really found our rhythm. We settled in and played really well in a lot of different areas. You know, I thought you know, our line matched some things a little bit better than what we have. You know, I thought the backs ran the ball well, and I thought we executed the passing game a little bit better than we have the last couple of weeks. So a lot of things to gain some confidence, gain some momentum as we continue to head into the region.
Let's look at the first half. If we can get those up. We kick off to start the ball game. You know, everybody's talked about Franklin that saw the ball game last year. They've got the young quarterback that's very athletic, and they go the length of the field.
Yeah, you know, this is a play that starts them, and this is kind of what he can do. You know, he threatens you so much with his legs. He draws a guy out of coverage, and then he is able to dump it right over our head for a big gain. And they do. They drive the rest of the way, and you know, a little shaky, just kind of like we were offensively coming out the gate. But again, if you go back and you know, watch the entire game, I thought we settled in on defense and ended up playing a solid football game on that side as well. And you know, they've got a couple of skilled guys that can threaten you. Certainly, Five is one of those guys. He can do a lot of different things. You know, his feet or his main weapon, but you know, he throws the ball well enough that you better be ready to defend the pass as well.
I thought the fullback played well for him too.
Yeah, Three's a good player. He's you know, got enough speed, and is a tough kid. Runs the ball really hard, and they got a couple of guards inside that can move you around. And you know, we just got to play with a little bit better leverage in a couple of places there.
All right, they go length of the field, 7-0 kickoff. It is 17 plays. That's remarkable.
Well, you know, the thing about a 17-play drive is that's 17 opportunities to make a mistake. Mm-hmm. And you know, when you're I don't want to say a methodical team, because you know, as an offensive coach, you're really proud of 17 plays that you're able to piece together and score. You know, so that means that you've done some things right, obviously, and probably overcome a couple of things throughout the drive.
Only right here down the middle.
And you know, we talked about this at the half, and he you know, came back and saw it a little bit better in the second half there. But got an opportunity to play him at tailback a little bit, and I think that adds a dimension to us offensively. and gives us a little bit of a change up. You know, he is a gifted runner and a big guy. This is a great
job on the option.
It really is, and it's you know, the best that we've executed that up to this point this season. Get it out there to number 2 and get the ball pitched and have a nice game.
Good job there, running with authority.
And we get a run through on the backside, and you know another thing that probably needs to be mentioned is the left side of the line of scrimmage. We had 2 sophomores starting over there this week. We've lost Trevor Todd, who is our starting left guard for an extended time. Unfortunately, you know, there's a chance that it may not be a season ending, but you know, he's out indefinitely right now.
First play of the second quarter, 1-yard plunge.
Good job getting down and getting our pad level down and executing the down play there to put it in.
Kickoff, and this is when defense really stepped up. Got some time to make some adjustments and did a great job controlling Franklin, basically for the next 2.5 quarters.
We did, and you know, and they're different. They're not the double slot Georgia Tech style option that they were last year, but they still have a lot of option-oriented principles, which really suits their personnel really well. Because anytime that you're playing option football, you have to have person on the dive, person on the pitch, person on the quarterback. Well, it's not real fun to only have one on that quarterback.
No.
You know, you'd like to be able to do something where you can get 2 on him.
Unless that one's Lawrence Taylor.
But again, this is some good stuff offensively. Luke came in and played really well at quarterback, able to get him some work in there, and play O'Neal at the running back, and good physical run there to get the ball down inside the 15 and get the ball. Tay, I think, had rushed for over 100 yards as well. And we have a bust here out of one of our guys up front, and end up with 2 negative plays and kind of get behind the chains a little bit, and just got to do a better job staying out of those situations. That's kind of what we are. You know, we're a football team that needs to stay in phase with the sticks, and as long as we do that, then good things happen to us.
Good job here, PJ, coming off the block there on the draw.
Yeah, PJ played well defensively. He was our defensive player of the week this week. I thought that he had a good football game. Offensively, there were 2 or 3 guys, you know, obviously that could have got it. JB had a big game catching the ball, and O'Neal had a big game running the ball. But Durante Morrison ended up being our offensive player of the week this week. And good throw and catch here out of O'Neal and JB. Little twist to a concept that we've been running all season, and we're starting to get to a point where we can kind of doll some things up and do some things a little bit differently than you know, what we do all the time. Good play action, and PJ makes a catch there in the corner of the end zone to give us a touchdown. And Tucker is continuing to do a good job with the field goals for us, and is going to be a really special player. A little disappointed with our kickoff coverage. It's an area that we've emphasized this week during our off week to try to get better, and we will improve in that area. Good play here out of Simeon, getting off a block, and you know, some of the things that you saw us being hurt by early in the year, we're starting to do a better job defending those things, and good return here out of JB, and good to see him be aggressive and go field the ball and get us in good field position.
Good throw there.
It really was on the move, and JB did a good job freeing himself up, getting back out there in the corner, and big score right there before half. And then we squib kick the ball to get us into the halftime. And I know there was some question here but it was a dead ball foul,
Right.
so it was assessed on the kickoff to open the second half.
All right, 21-7 at the half. First time you go in with the lead at the half. It had to be a little bit different locker room.
Well, we try for it not to be at that point. You know, certainly after the game can be a little bit different, but at half we want to approach it the same way every week. And like I've told you before, we don't want to play to the scoreboard. We want to play to our ability, and that goes for whether you're up 21-7 or whether you're down 21-7. We want to be our measure, and we want to play to our level.
Okay. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll watch the second half highlights. Thanks again. You're watching This Week Hart County Football, brought to you by Pierce Built Homes. We'll be right back.
The Hart County College and Career Academy provides new and improved learning opportunities to students in our community. With new technology and equipment in every classroom, students have the resources to ensure a better education. We guarantee that the Hart County College and Career Academy will further prepare students for their future and their careers. Hart County College and Career Academy, preparing students for their future.
The Hart County High School 5th and Campbell store is selling t-shirts during home football games. Come by and buy a gray shirt for $15 or a black and white shirt for $20. We will be at the front gate. All proceeds go to the store run by Hart County High School students.
Hart County High School is about academics, sports and training, bulldog chow, reading, teamwork, brilliant minds, preparing for the future. Hart County High School is the school made for us.
Welcome back to Inside Hart County Football with Coach Rance Gillespie, brought to you each week by Pierce Built Homes. Coach, 21-7 at the half, you come out. You didn't know what was going to happen. Franklin gets to kick off from midfield.
Right.
And it was
that was. And I told Brooks on the sidelines. I kind of leaned over to him and said, "This is the toughest play in football because you're in a situation where." You know, an onside kick is going to still, even if they fail at an onside kick, it's going to give you a pretty decent field position. And so do you play that? Do you play the squib? Do you play the sky? They've got a million different options because of the penalty right there before the half. And of course, the option to kick it through the back of the end zone and play it safe and give you the ball at the 20, is such a weapon in high school football. When that ball's kicked into the end zone, you have to start at the 20. 80-yard drives are sometimes hard to come by.
Well, this 80-yard drive was sort of a different way of doing it. Let's look at the second half highlights. As we mentioned, Franklin gets the kick off from our 45, and they choose to kick it out the back of the end zone by about 20. So Hart takes the ball on the 20, and then lightning in a bottle.
We have a bust on the left side there, and then get a play that we had ran earlier in the game and had missed, and come back to it, and they defended it a little bit different. O'Neill does a good job seeing it and laying the ball out there for Jalen, and Jalen gets up underneath it and takes it to the house. So good execution and a nice looking play there. We got to do a better job tackling and fitting our lanes and understanding what our lanes are. And, that's kind of been a point of emphasis for us.
Again,
PJ doing a good job there off the edge, and thought Clay Vaughn had another solid game. He's just becoming a very dependable guy that was playing good disciplined football for us all the way around. And really proud of the way he's playing and the way he handled himself Friday night.
Get the penalty, Franklin gets the ball down across the midfield line, but defense bows its head again and comes back.
A good stand there for us defensively, and we had some good things going. Come back and run the same play and that we had ran earlier, and did a better job fitting it. Good job Tyler getting out there on the edge and giving Durante a block, and getting the ball down the field. And I thought we did a better job running our outside zone, and then throwing some quick game, getting some quick game mixed in there, and kind of keeping them off balance with some of those things. A little power here, and O'Neal gets it up inside for another good gain, and then his so physical he's able to break some tackles.
I'm not so sure he didn't score.
Gets us down to the one, and end up pushing that ball in as well. And
great catch on the snap there.
And that's kind of one of those things that goes unnoticed. But I thought Crew has done a really good job with his holds, and has been in really dependable with that area of the football game. Tucker, who is our kicker, is actually our deep snapper on punts, and then Dax has done the short snaps on the PATs. And this was an area where, with the lead that we had, you're afraid that your kids take a breath and don't quite play as good. But I thought for the most part we continued to do that. Now we're going to sub some people a little late, and and some things like that. But I thought that our older kids played extremely well.
They did.
They ended up losing their quarterback to a dislocated elbow. A really nice play there out of Jerryon to get that pick, and they're very, very talented, and makes a really nice break on it. And of course, we're really excited about this guy. Is just a freshman running back there for us, and getting a lot of quality snaps this year, and is going to be a really good player.
Great job here on the kick out.
Yeah, I thought O'Neal did a good job with his blocks. We were asking him not just to be a running back, but to be a complete football player. And when he was called on to block and execute those things, I thought that he did a good job with that, as well as running the football.
Right, then getting outside.
Gets it bounced and ends up scoring. One of the guys that I have not mentioned yet is Kirby King, and Kirby was our special teams player of the week this week, and he's done a really, really good job for us in all phases. And we asked him to do a lot of different things for us. And just got to wrap him up and finish some blocks or finish some tackles. And I thought this is what this kid could do really well. Yeah. He could put his foot in the ground, and he could be shifty at times. And had decent speed, and this do a good job fitting this speed sweep, and really nice play there out of Tyzea out on the perimeter. For the most part, we were able to keep the ball contained and keep the ball inside, and fit what they did.
Quarter changes, they punt again.
So we're in a situation now where it's a running clock. So you'll see a lot of our guys start to come off the field. And when we have these types of opportunities, we want to get as many of these guys in as we possibly can. And there's a number of reasons that we want to do that. Number one, they deserve to play. They go out and they work hard at practice every day. And for the most part, most of them are young. And their time's coming, but still, I like to be able to reward those kids for the job that they do each and every day. Everybody's got a job in our organization, and the job that they do on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday, providing scout teams and things like that is not always the easiest job in the world, and certainly we want to get them on the field. And then secondly, they're getting quality reps, and they're getting work as we build for the future.
I think he backed out on that one just a
little
bit
quick. He told me he got a little excited on that one, backed out a little bit early, and we ended up putting it on the ground. Yeah.
The defense responds.
And we've got a bunch of our young guys in there, and getting them some work.
lose a little bit of an angle on that one.
You know, they lost their quarterback with the dislocated elbow. This is the JV guy, and you know, he came in and I thought he played really well. I didn't think that he hurt him. Certainly, you know, there's some dimensions that the other one brings, but this kid is a good player in his own right. And I think, you know, in talking with Coach Underwood, he's excited about his sophomore class, and you know, from what I've seen, rightfully so. You know, they've got a good group. You know, that's a pretty impressive play out of some of our young guys, fitting up the option and taking away all three phases of it right there. Yeah. You know, some things that we you know, that we did good with our young groups. Things that we need to do better.
That's the final scoring of the game. Get the ball back and get one more series, I think, with some of the reserves, and you know, they did a great job.
We were able to move the ball, and again, you know, with them, we're trying to master just a couple of different plays, just a couple of different things, and you know, as we get better at those things, and we will, you know, we'll move on to the next step. But there's got to be some building blocks and a foundation put in place, and you know, some of the things that they're doing will carry over into to some of the stuff that you see us doing more with the older guys. You know, the first thing that we want to do offensively is we want to establish a physicality. We want to see two guys get hip to hip and move a three technique off the football. That's you know, that's our number one goal on offense.
41-14 is your final score. Coach, off week. You got 4 more weeks of the regular season. I was talking with a mutual friend of ours going to the ball game Friday night. Everybody starts talking about this time of year, the idea of playoffs. The region plays playoffs.
Right.
To get in. And next week is homecoming and it's Jackson County. Right. Have you had a chance to look at them?
Oh yeah, we've you know, we've been studying their tape for a couple of days, several days now, and you know, trying to get our kids ready for that. You know, there's a number of different things that you want to accomplish with your off week, especially this time of year when you get later in the season. You know, one of those things is to get your legs back a little bit, so to speak. So, you know, Monday was a little bit of a lighter day. We were in Shales and had a really good day. Really good day. Had an up-tempo day. Kids responded really well, and then Tuesday and Wednesday is a little bit different. You know, we're back working more on fundamentals. We're introducing some Jackson stuff and practices a lot more physical those 2 days. And I thought Wednesday we had a really good practice, very physical practice, and we had kids flying around and acting like they were having fun. And I think and I told them, and you know, that's a big part of it, your body language and how much enjoyment you get out of it. You know, it makes you a better football player.
Jackson has, at least the last time I looked, the number 1 ranked running back in the state.
Right. I think he's actually number 2 now, but he's still a really good back. They've got a big line of scrimmage, and he's a power back that can move, and you know, doesn't ever really take a big hit. Because he's got the hips to defend himself with some of those things, but he's a very talented kid. And you know, and they hand him the ball quite a bit. I mean, you know, that's obvious with the number of carries that he's gotten, and to be able to lead the state in rushing is really impressive. And you know, the line of scrimmage can move you around a little bit. Got some big kids up there, and you know, the quarterback does a good job executing their offense. So we've got to do a great job of tackling this week. You know, one guy doesn't bring this guy down, and we've got to do a good job of getting a lot of black hats to the ball this week.
Enjoy the weekend off. You get a chance to watch a little football that's not somebody else's to worry about.
Yeah, I'm going to head over to Franklin probably a couple of times this weekend. Go over there Friday and watch Jackson and Franklin play, and then you know, our middle school plays there on Saturday. So.
And we're going to be talking about the middle school program some next week. There's a lot of excitement with that group.
Yeah, absolutely. Really talented group. Really excited about those guys.
All right, next week, hey, no football this week. It's off week, number 2. Next Friday night, homecoming. Jackson County, game time 7:30. I guess festivities will start somewhere around 7 with all the pregame. The homecoming parade on Thursday night, so a lot going on next week. Number one thing is to get a win. For Coach Rance Gillespie, this is Doc here saying thank you, good night, and we'll see you next week on Inside Hart County Football.
Thank you for watching Inside Hart County Football. This has been a production of Hart College and Career Academy video production class.